Today, we're going to be highlighting how to isolate different muscle groups using both bodyweight exercises and weights. If you're looking to build muscle and improve your physique, this video is going to teach you different tools and methods to get the job done. Let's start this calisthenics versus bodybuilding video with the notorious biceps muscle. Hey everyone, Daniel Vadnal here for Fitness FAQs, and I have to say that gymnastics rings are my go-to training tool for isolating muscle groups with calisthenics. For the bodyweight bicep curl, take an overgrip on the rings as this makes it possible to continuously use a full range of motion. The technique is pretty straightforward for this one. Keep the body tight like you would in a plank and simply curl the hands and the wrists towards the face. Each rep I'm trying to be deliberate with the range of motion, tempo, and contraction being used. The elbow is extending straight at the bottom and I'm getting a huge squeeze at the top of the curl. In terms of tempo, focus on a pause at the top of the curl and lower down with control, taking a few seconds. When training the biceps with weights, you can't go wrong with the classic barbell bicep curl. This exercise should be your go-to movement for building bigger arms with weights. Why is it so good? You're able to load the movement up heavier than a traditional dumbbell curl, which is a nice option for overload. Keep in mind form over ego when training the biceps. You'll want to be in control of the bar by getting a nice squeeze at the top and a full stretch on the way down. If you find that you need to swing the weight to complete the rep, you've gone too heavy. Just drop the weight to something that you can manage, you'll feel a better contraction and also pump in the arms. Most people stuff around for many years with poor form and poor choice of load. You've got to be smart when it comes to training and your biceps will thank you later for it. When using gymnastics rings to train the chest, there is only a few main techniques that I want you to understand. As you lower down, keep the elbows behind the shoulders. This encourages the elbows to stay closer to the sides, which is a safer and more comfortable position for the shoulders. For bodybuilding purposes, I'd also recommend keeping the elbows bent. By bending the arms, you'll be able to get a nice stretch through the pecs while minimizing unnecessary strain on the biceps and anterior shoulders. Of course, our goal is to work the chest when we're doing flies, but we also need to use form which minimizes our risk of injury. Lastly, I'd recommend squeezing the hands towards each other at the top of every rep. The beauty of the chest fly is the stretch and squeeze action. You're really going to feel the chest working hard at the top, especially when you're more than 10 reps deep into a set. As far as form's concerned for the dumbbell chest fly, it's very similar to the ring version. I will mention that keeping the shoulder blades pinched together is really important for feeling it in the chest. If you're someone who always feels flies in their anterior delts or shoulders, you're likely not setting the scapula or maintaining retraction during your set. When isolating muscles, remember to use the right weight for you. Technique and sensation comes first, increasing weight comes second. As you can see, building muscle by bodyweight is definitely possible if you know how. Our Body by Rings workout program is going to teach you how to get bigger without weights. Sign up now to get results anywhere, anytime. To build complete size in the shoulders, training the rear delts is a must. Let me show you how. When doing rear delt flies with rings, do your best to keep the elbows straight. I find it helpful to think of forcefully squeezing the shoulder blades together as well as pulling the hands as far apart as I physically can. Using rings is ideal for working the back of the shoulders because you have complete freedom over the setup. A decline body setup is more challenging, as is lowering the height of the rings. Keep in mind this is a very tough exercise to do, especially with strict form. Even a small adjustment to the setup can make things incredibly more difficult. You're going to have to play around with the setup to get things right for this one. When it comes to training the rear delts with weights, there's definitely plenty of options. I'm going to take you through a few different examples in this video. The easiest way for beginners to get the job done is using the rear delt machine. The beauty of this setup is how incremental you can be with the loading. There really is no excuse for not finding the right amount and working hard. Another valuable option is the cable crossover. Holding the cables with an alternate setup is really useful for training the rear delts. You'll notice at the start of the exercise, each of my arms is crossing the midline of my body. This places the rear delts on stretch, which increases the available range of motion. Because isolation exercises aren't terribly challenging, really be present during your set with the form you're using and contract really hard at the end of each rep. As the triceps make up a good 75% of your arms, it makes sense to pay attention to working this muscle. Get yourself into a push-up and we'll be doing overhead tricep extensions using the rings. Keep the core tight and avoid arching your back. Also, make sure you're leaning forward so the triceps are forced to work hard. Each rep, the goal is for the head to drop below the height of the rings to get a full stretch through the triceps. Even when you get tired towards the end of the set, stay strict with the technique. Getting those elbows straight at the top is going to make or break your results. Small details applied consistently add up to big gains. The skull crusher is a great exercise for training the triceps. As the arm is being stretched overhead, this exercise works all three heads of the tricep. You'll have to play around with the hand distance apart to find one which is comfortable for your shoulders. Most people prefer to tuck the elbows towards the side when they're doing their skull crushers. After you've finished your compound tricep exercises for the day, such as dips, overhead press, or bench press, a few sets of skull crushers at the end is going to be really helpful for arm growth. The traps definitely play an important role in completing a physique. Let's see how to isolate them with bodyweight and also weights. Here's a bodyweight exercise that everyone can use to train their traps without any equipment, the pike push-up shrug. Keeping the elbows straight, we're going to isolate elevation and depression of the scapula. The most important part of this exercise is shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears as hard as you can. I'd recommend putting a timer on for 30 to 60 seconds and just going for it. I guarantee you're going to feel a crazy burn in your traps that you've probably never experienced before with this exercise. That's the beauty of bodyweight or calisthenics exercises, no equipment and awesome results. The dumbbell shrug is a standard bodybuilding exercise you've probably seen or tried before. As the range of motion is small, you have the luxury of using heavy dumbbells for this one. Shrug up and down with control, stretch and squeeze, tolerate the burn, and keep going. Having thick and strong forearms is the sign of someone serious about their training. Let's find out how to make that happen. Hanging is a super effective way to strengthen the forearms without using weights. The forearms respond quite well to high reps or long duration holds. This means you need to approach your training with this point in mind. I'd recommend to building up to 2-minute holds using 2 arms. You'll be surprised to know how a weak grip reflects itself in other areas of your training. If the size of your forearms is lacking and pull-ups are tough for you, grip strength is definitely something you should address. Once you've built some endurance on 2 arms, it's time to work on single arm hangs. These are great because you can address any side-to-side weaknesses which are normal for people to have. Single arm hanging is a great challenge and it will definitely result in building bigger and stronger forearms. The burn can be pretty intense when doing single arm grip work, but over time you'll learn to tolerate the feeling, and improvements in your hold time are the best way to keep yourself accountable and motivated. Static barbell holds are going to train the forearms in a similar way to hanging on a bar. Load the bar up as heavy as you can and hold for time. I'd recommend setting a timer for 30 to 60 seconds, switching your mind off and tolerating the burn. Keep progressing by adding more weight to the bar, increasing hold time, or the number of sets that you use. Before you know it, you'll have Popeye forearms with veins bursting everywhere by taking grip and forearm training seriously. If you found today's video valuable, do me a quick favor and leave a thumbs up on this video. By leaving a thumbs up, you're going to directly support Fitness FAQs and help spread the word. If you want to learn more about bodyweight training, visit our website fitnessfaqs.tv and download our calisthenics training programs. We've got workouts for all levels and we'll teach you how to master your body.